Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the highlights. Attorney General Anil Nandlal declares that Guyana is a high-performing stock. Guyana is seeking collaboration with international agro-processors. Number of Guyanese visiting the Dominican Republic triples in 2024. And coalition talks between the Alliance for Change and a Partnership for National Unity expire, but no agreement has been reached. The fact that major world powers are vying for investment opportunities in Guyana is a sign of the successful transformation taking place. This statement was made by Attorney General Anil Nandlal during the opening of the Friendship Magistrates Court on Monday.
There are two global powers in the world today, the United States and China. And I'm sure you have been reading on the news that there is actually a competition between two global powers, a competition to invest in Guyana. The two giants, the two global giants, are trading words over investing or investments in Guyana. These are things for us to celebrate. These are things that indicate beyond a doubt that you are part of something special.
The Attorney General was referring to the recent exchange of words between the United States and China. Both nations have declared their close partnership with Guyana and their genuine intention to assist in its development. The U.S. has registered its non-support for what it describes as China's predatory investment practices. China is accused of offering large sums of money to countries for projects under high loan repayment schemes. China, on the other hand, refutes these accusations. Where Guyana is concerned, it said it has always put its China-Guyana friendship first. The Asian nation noted its participation in some of the biggest economic and social projects in the country's history. Guyana is reaching out to international agro-processors to join its manufacturing wave. Chief Investment Officer at Go Invest, Dr. Peter Ramsarup, told Ignite News that reduced electricity costs will power this development phase. He explained that greater emphasis will be placed on creating value-added products from Guyana's raw materials.
So we're in conversation with Dole, Del Monte, with Tabasco. Those are all companies we're actually talking with actively to maybe set up manufacturing plants in Guyana so that we can have local partners and then we can grow more large-scale farming and farmers can move away from smaller farming into large-scale farming.
According to Ramsarup, while the country is looking for partners, it will move forward with agro-processing even if it is without external support.
Now the energy cost is coming out. I want to buy that can of pineapple juice, which should be the sweetest in the world, from Guyana. So Dole has a choice. Dole can come in and help us do it, or we'll figure out how to do it ourselves.
He stressed that investors are welcome to do business in Guyana since their money is safe. There are adequate laws to ensure the protection of their investments. As the partnership between Guyana and the Dominican Republic continues to flourish, travel between the two states has tripled in just 1 year. Dominican Republic Ambassador to Guyana, His Excellency Ernesto Torres Pereira, shared the positive news during an exclusive interview with Ignite Insights. He credited the increase to direct flights between the two nations.
Because of the lack of connectivity, very few Guyanese visited the Dominican Republic. However, since the establishment of the direct connection in February of 2024, we have tripled basically the amount of visitors from Guyana and from the Dominican Republic to Guyana.
Guyana and the Dominican Republic are working to improve tourism ties. Discussions are currently centered around the creation of a joint tourism package. Ambassador Pereira explained that both nations offer unique travel products that could ideally be packaged and offered as one item.
So I believe now what we need to do is to continue promoting the potential of both countries so more people are interested in coming to visit Guyana and more Guyanese can come and visit the Dominican Republic as an alternative actually for leisure and for business.
With a recorded 10 million tourists per year, the Dominican Republic sees itself as a major partner, eager to share its knowledge and experiences in this industry. The deadline for a coalition deal between a Partnership for National Unity and the Alliance for Change has expired. There is, however, no agreement between the two parties on a presidential candidate for the upcoming regional and general elections. The Alliance for Change insists that its leader, Nigel Hughes, should be the presidential candidate, while a Partnership for National Unity and the People's National Congress firmly support their leader, Aubrey Norton. Talks between the two parties are ongoing. Following a meeting on Monday, Norton requested that the AFC submit its demands in writing. The AFC, in a statement issued Sunday night, reiterated its stance on Hughes leading the coalition. Additionally, the party proposed a 40-60 power sharing arrangement, with 40% of government positions allocated to the AFC and the remaining 60% to APNU. It also suggested the party providing the presidential candidate should not nominate or hold the position of leader of the list. Norton confirmed that the PNCR has not ruled out the coalition and that discussions will continue once AFC submit its proposals formally. Hughes described the talks as useful and expressed optimism about future engagements. A temporary speed limit will soon be introduced on the Soesdyke-Linden highway as work on the main carriageway begins. This move is being undertaken by the Ministry of Public Works along with the Guyana Police Force Traffic Department. It will ensure maximum safety for drivers and construction workers on site.
One of the main reasons why this highway is being done is to ensure the safety of horses. The highway had become inundulated in various sections because of years of use, tonnage, wear and tear. People are accustomed driving this highway at 100 kilometers. And I think that was the speed limit. Construction is taking place right now. For example, the area where we are standing, it has been milled out. This is where they started milling out the entire road where the asphalt is being taken up by way of a machine. The surface is being prepared for overlay. They have to put on crusher run, which involves bricks. We can't be speeding in the construction zone, that's one, because the people who are working on that zone are at risk. But you're also putting yourself at risk by speeding on a surface that is not completed. Speeding on a surface that is with crusher run or with granite stones could cause pebbles to fling up in the air, break other people's windscreen. The crusher run has fines in it, so you'll have dust. So the first thing that we have to do here is to get everybody to calm down and slow down. We are here standing, and you're seeing the speed at which the vehicles are moving. It's not advisable. So we will have to work with the traffic chief and agree on a new speed limit, and we will, for construction, and we will have to put up those signs in the interest of ensuring compliance.
Subject Minister Juan Edgil, during a site visit, pointed out that the phase of the ongoing work is expected to last roughly 6 months. In August 2024, a U.S. $161 million contract was signed with Trinidadian firm Namalco Construction Services in joint venture with Guy American Construction, Inc., to reconstruct the Linden-Soesdyke Highway. The upgrade project is being funded by a loan from the Islamic Development Bank. This is the first developmental project in Guyana to receive funding from the Islamic Development Bank. Farmers and residents are urged to prepare for the May-June rainy season. The Hydromet Office says Guyana may see above normal rainfall from April to June, with significant accumulation expected from May. This increases the risk of flooding, waterlogged fields, and difficulty accessing farms. Disaster response agencies are asked to be on alert, and citizens are also advised to take precautions. Chief Hydromet Officer Dr. Garvin Cummins warns that flash floods could hit vulnerable areas, so early action is key. Warmer days are expected, but night temperatures should remain normal. While 50% of sexual assault cases are reported in Guyana, only about 10% are convicted. This is according to the manager of Sexual Offenses and Domestic Violence Policy Unit, Dr. Kona Husbands. Dr. Husbands was at the time speaking at the Asking for It Sexual Assault Awareness Exhibition held at the Guyana-DR today. Dr. Husbands noted that there are a significant number of sexual assault cases in Guyana, with about 300 cases being reported each month. She said more than 90% of these cases relate to women, while less than 10% are men, and 70% are children under age 18.
We as a country, we as advocates against sexual violence, this is us trying to raise awareness about this issue and so we can do our part. And lastly, less than 10% of the cases are convicted. All right? So more than 50% goes to court, and less than 10% of those cases are actually convicted. So we can see what is happening here, and we can see why we decided to let's talk about sexual assault, let's raise awareness, let's have an exhibition, let's showcase the stories of our survivors who have endured it.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad, in the keynote address, urged all to join together to put an end to sexual assault, noting that the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security cannot do it alone.
Safety, security, trust. Those are not words. Those are things we feel. Those are things that when they are spoken, they should be things that we always experience and feel. But we live in the reality, globally and nationally, where those words are paired, are placed in the same sentence as trauma, scars, fear, threats, intimidation, blame, guilt. It brings home to me, and I'm sure to you this morning, how much more needs to be done and how very real those people are behind the statistics.
Executive Director of Imperial House, Wasim Khan, also made the call for perpetrators of these acts to be held accountable.
These stories are not just theirs, they belong to us because it happened here in our country, in our villages, in our community. They serve as reminders of our collective responsibility to stand against injustice, hold perpetrators accountable, and create spaces where survivors are met with empathy and support. Too often we hear the wrong questions. What was she wearing? Why was she out so late? Was she asking for it? The questions shift blame from the perpetrators to the victims. They silence survivors and excuse the violence. But today we push back. We challenge these harmful narratives and affirm that the only one responsible for violence is the one who commits it.
The exhibition featured exhibits of stories told by actual victims of sexual assault, as well as depictions of clothing they wore during the assault to bring awareness. It will remain open for the month of April, which is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. The U.S. Lesser Antilles Medical Assistance Team is in Guyana for 2 weeks. During this time, they will provide key medical services to locals in the areas of surgical, ophthalmological, and dental care. According to Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, the ministry goal was to expand the mission beyond the capital city. They have successfully incorporated the hospitals in Regions 3 and 6 as part of the scheduled sites for the team to visit and operate out of. The team will be operating at the Port Morant Hospital, the New Amsterdam Regional Hospital, the West Demerara Regional Hospital, the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, and the Chetty Jagan Dental School. Dr. Anthony explained that the collaboration has significantly strengthened healthcare capacity.
We have had different teams from the U.S. coming in and working with the hospital, especially the surgeons at the Georgetown Hospital. And I would say because of that type of collaboration, we have been able to build a lot of capacity in the hospital. So for example, the team that comes from Maryland on Operation Walk has helped to build a lot of capacity, and now we are able to do knee implants and hips. I think that has been very good because over the years, they work with our local team to be able to develop this. And I see similar types of collaboration. So whether it's in vascular surgery, in dentistry, in ophthalmology, or in general surgery, I think we can all learn new techniques, new ways of doing things, and I think that's very important. In some of the outlying areas, our teams there, they can do with a lot of training. And while we've been sending interns to work at some of these facilities, I think having a team like this work with them can add to their training so that they can improve and do even better.
This regional initiative will utilize and provide over $1 million in medical supplies alone and offer invaluable medical services. In the United States, a raft of new tariffs will take immediate effect tomorrow, April 2nd. According to CNN, although many details remain unknown, perhaps even to President Trump himself, the administration's Liberation Day trade policy will take effect. President Trump has vowed to aggressively slap tariffs on U.S. imports as a solution to almost any problem. And he has kept his promise so much that many are worried. Investors, economists, CEOs, and a growing segment of the population have expressed fear that these import taxes will do more harm than good. But Trump's tariff efforts so far might pale in comparison to what's coming next. Trump told reporters late Monday that he'd settled on a plan for sweeping new tariffs to be announced midweek. Craig Brathwaite has stepped down as Test captain of the West Indies after 3 years in the role. According to the BBC, the 32-year-old will hand the post to his replacement in June. The still-to-be-named replacement will take the lead for Australia's 3-match Test tour of the Caribbean. Since becoming captain in March 2021, Brathwaite has led the West Indies to a home series victory against England in 2022 and a Test victory in Australia. That 2024 victory marked the first time in 27 years that the West Indies won in Australia. His team finished 8th in the most recent World Test Championship standings. The West Indies will also have a new captain in T20s, with Shai Hope replacing Rovman Powell. Powell led the T20 side from 2023, winning home series against India, England, and South Africa. Hope, 31, who has led the West Indies in one-day internationals, will take charge of the T20 team in June. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.